Hello there.
Hi.
It sounds like that Blink 182 song, doesn't it? Angel.
I can't sing, my voice hurts.
So Naomi's had cold all week.
I have.
She's still got a little bit of a cough. We've just got back from her parents, so we've got some clean clothes on the sofa, a dog, and then another dog
Who wants to play ball?
who has now just woke up. I said let's film because she was asleep. So this week, 8 weeks out from...
My Valencia Marathon.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was being queued in there.
Yeah, hang on, because I'm just going to sort the other dog out. This is how we've fixed it.
That's the dog under there. He's not just happy to see you.
The dog under the blanket, and the other one's still there growling. So yeah, this week we're talking about training. What has happened in training this week? We've had quite a decent week of training. PB for one of us, illness for another one. And then I'm also going to be talking about nutrition for a marathon runner. So how many times do you hear as runners, you run a lot, so you must be able to eat whatever you want, or I run so I can eat cake.
Doesn't quite work like that.
Don't quite work like that.
It's borderline works like that, as in you eat a lot of carbs. The ratio, this is something I've looked into recently, like the split carb, protein, fats. For a runner, it's a higher split. So a lot of people assume that working out, you need to have a higher split of protein, but as a long distance runner, the highest split is carbs. I personally like to get my carbs from sugar. Gareth likes to get his carbs from good places, savoury sauces, whereas I would prefer to eat a bag of sweets.
Savoury stuff, she means like...
Pasta, crackers.
Yeah, crackers, bread. I don't eat much bread, to be honest.
You have a lot of wraps.
Yeah, I have a lot of wraps where I can.
Whereas I would have a pack of biscuits. But that's where I also track my calories a little bit more than Gareth does, because I know I eat less healthy calories rather than overeating. I do track them a little bit because it is easy to overeat when you're taking on a lot of sweet calories.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff that I've wrote some notes down here. I've just opened my phone, and a lot of stuff that Naomi's just said, I've got my notes. So well done. Great. I
do know what I'm on about.
Oh no.
Bessie says I don't.
She doesn't know what she's on about because Bessie says not. So yeah, the way that you're framing it is like food is fuel. So using food as an energy source, and what a lot of people tend to see food as is the seafood as what?
I don't know what you're wanting me to say.
A bit of an enemy, a bit of a...
Yeah, like a bad thing. It's like saying like you put the wrong fuel into your car's not going to run. You fill your body with the wrong foods, your body's not going to run.
Yeah, and a lot of people might try and use running as a way to lose like weight, and
which it does work if you're doing interval reps, high intensity stuff, heart rate increasing stuff. But as a long distance runner, realistically, you're not going to lose weight doing it, because if you're fueling your body correctly, what you are burning, you are putting in. But as a long distance runner as well, you use a different fuel source. So we're using a lot of fats, a lot of carbs, whereas sprint, high intensity, you're burning and using a completely different fuel source.
Yeah.
Gareth knows more about this.
I know more about this, but yeah, at lower intensity, you burn your fats. So there's the fat burning zone. So if your heart rate's probably around 50-60%, you will be burning fat. Above that, you start burning carbohydrates and your body stops burning fat. When we recently went for the testing at Leeds Beckett University, both of us at lower intensity burnt fat, and then as we increased the intensity, we burnt more carbohydrates. So Naomi figured out that she needs about...
So during the course of a marathon, I will burn 500 grams of carbohydrates. That doesn't mean I need to take on 500 grams of carbs during the space of a marathon. That would be a hell of a lot. But how I now fuel a race is between me waking up in the morning and finishing the marathon, I will aim to take on 500 grams of carbs, because I know during the course of that entire morning, I will have burned 500 grams. And that is how I got around the Great North Run. So I wasn't necessarily fit, but I fueled myself to keep my body going. So I halved, 250 grams of carbs throughout the half marathon. That included my breakfast, my drink, all the grams I took during the race, and then finished once I'd stopped running. And it worked. I didn't burn myself out. I ran slower than I would have liked, but I ran above where my body was.
Yeah, and sometimes it's not about just getting to the finish line in a race, it's thinking beyond that as well, so that you feel all right, being able to walk around and you've not left everything out there in terms
to the
of...
train station that's 2 miles away, or getting up the next day and doing a run, because you're training for a bigger race 2 months down the line, Not every race is an A race, but it's all about being sustainable with what you're doing. So making it into a lifestyle rather than burning yourself out from one run.
Yeah, and if you are trying to eat and fuel yourself to lose weight, it's going to lead you to overtraining, underfueling, a bit of energy depletion, fatigue and burnout, and all the buzzwords, the negative connotations that come with running. Both me and Naomi, we're not nutritionists, but we've done running for a very long time, and sport and athletics and football, triathlon, you name it.
Nutrition is something I definitely read into a lot more than Gareth does with his training, because I've got a negative past with nutrition and fueling, which makes me hyper focused on making sure I'm now getting enough and more than enough. But I'd never tell someone, this is the meal you have to eat. These are the amounts of fats and carbs you have to eat. I very, very much like intuitive eating. You want that cake, you eat that cake. You want, an extra portion of chips, you eat the extra portion of chips. Your body, if you are hungry, eat.
Yeah, and that's your body's way of telling you that you are, like, you need some fuel. Like, I'm a sucker for, I like eating spontaneously. However, I'm a sucker for eating similar meals day after day. At the minute, I have for breakfast
Weetabix,
and for lunch
couscous
and chicken.
And then dinner, we rotate like the same 4 or 5 meals over and over again, because it's what we enjoy and it's easy food. What I hate, being the person that cooks the evening meals the most, you're trying to do this more now, aren't you? But it's standing at the oven cooking a hard meal when all you want to do is get some nutrients dense food in.
Yeah, and most of the time we are stretched for time, so we'll have, like, fajitas, spaghetti bolognese, nachos, chili.
You can cook in one pan.
We've got a fish curry tonight, but they're all like nutritious, fairly low fat meals that are simple for us to make as well. And it's about being efficient with what you do eat, so getting the biggest value for your buck in terms of like your nutrition. So that's why I've moved from, I was having granola previously for breakfast every morning, and I figured out it were 1,000 calories in my granola. There were quite a lot of nutritional value and sugar coming from fats, and the coconut and the nuts in it and stuff like that. Not bad fats, but stuff that I didn't need. Yeah, just getting your better nutritional intake, so looking at your high carbs, protein, your right sort of fats, just so you've got the right fuel in your body and you're not putting diesel in a petrol engine.
I'm good at that. Another thing we like to do, or we've started doing, is like no meat days. Like, you can get your proteins from stuff that isn't an animal source. So we have a lot of beans, a lot of... what else? Tofu, stuff like that. We don't do it every day, and we're not saying we're going to go vegan or anything like that. But those days, they come quite naturally to us to have a no meat day or a no meat meal, just by incorporating different types of beans and stuff in there.
Yeah, we'll get to the end of the day most days and we'll turn around and say, I've
had a no meat day.
Yeah.
That doesn't include, so we still have white fish. I have tuna, tofu, like I said, dopsu meat, vegan
tuna
pies.
and fish is actually meat, but yeah, I'll let Naomi off on that.
Yeah,
she means pescatarian then. So yeah, that's kind of it. Whistle stop tour on what we do for nutrition. Do your reading, find out what works for you.
I'm also dairy free, so lactose intolerance and milk, yogurts, stuff like that. I just have a dairy free version instead, but I then potentially lack in calcium, so I now take calcium tablets.
And being lactose free is contagious, so I've stopped eating cheese. But yeah, I think that's just because it's cheaper. So yeah, that's kind of it. Whistle stop tour on what we do for nutrition. I'll delve into my training week now because Naomi's just alerted me that she's got to go swimming. So yeah, she's off to the swimming pool now, leaving me and the girls alone, probably laying down napping.
He's not. He's going to cook dinner.
He's not. And then we'll see how we've got on in training this week. We'll talk about my PB as well at Hull Park Run. You can see in a bit.
I'm not sad about that. Not at all. I didn't even finish.
No, she did a mile and a half and then chalked it and ran off.
Chalked it.
So she can see you in a bit.
See you next time. Bye, guys.
Yeah, so here I am, 8 weeks out from Valencia Marathon. Got Bessie's evil face over my shoulder and Piper on the pile of clothes still. And I've had another steady week of training. That's all it needs. Nothing special, nothing spectacular, just steady, as always. So yeah, Monday kicked off with 11 mile. Rain set in, got very wet, very soaked, and weren't an happy bunny when I got home. But yeah, 11 mile in 1 hour 19. Felt relatively comfortable. Legs were a little bit tired from last week's exploits, but yeah, we soldiered on and we got moving. And then out in the evening, Taltman run, more of the wet, 6.4 mile in the evening. And then out on Tuesday morning, the session Tuesday evening, so I had 3 sessions on the plans this week, was a shorter one than normal. So went out and did 7 mile Tuesday morning and got the legs turning over. Felt like trudging a little bit of snow, but yeah, got the job done for my Tuesday morning like recovery run. Then the session was more of a 10k specific session this week for us. We had a smaller group than usual with Birdie away in Turkey. He's just got back from Benidorm as well, the jet setter. And Gary's doing Chester Marathon. Jack were doing Chester Marathon this week as well. So yeah, we had a bit of a smaller group, but it was 5 times 1 mile off 4 minutes static recoveries. The 1 miles I used them to dial into sort of marathon pace. Got progressively quicker as the session went through, and finished at like 5:12 pace for my final mile. My first one were about 5:24 pace. So yeah, wanted marathon pace or quicker, and felt quite strong actually throughout. Was very windy on the track at Dorothy Ironman. The back 100 metre straight with like a wind tunnel, but there was no wind on any other part of the track, so that felt all right. And then Tuesday evening, unfortunately, I got a phone call through the track session from my brother James. Mum and Dad's cat hadn't been well, can't remember if I've mentioned it. Timmy. We've had him 14 and a half years. So went round to their house after the track on Tuesday night, and they were all laid there on the living room floor. And unfortunately, Timmy passed away after 14 and a half years. So yeah, that was quite a sad moment. Yeah, it's definitely hit my mum hard. It's hit us all hard because he was like a little bit of a brother to us. But it's life moves on, and he's had a wonderful 14 and a half years. Turned up on his doorstep, had some spag bol and never left. So yeah, I woke up Wednesday morning feeling a little bit fragile, but went out with Kai and got 10 mile done. And then in the evening, 6.5 mile for my evening run. Felt quite strong as well on the evening run. Then in the morning, Thursday morning, got out, got 10k done. Had my car booked in for some the windows tinting. So yeah, got a new car. Mentioned last week. So yeah, the Tesla's windows tinted and some other bits and pieces done on it. So dropped that off at the tinters. And then in the evening, I had a big, long, meaty sesh on my own. It was 3 times 15 minutes off a 3-minute jog recovery, which dialed in again to marathon pace, another marathon pace specific session this week. Averaged about 5:28 for the full 45 minutes worth of work. No, it might have been 5:24s because my last one were a little bit quicker. But yeah, felt really strong in that session up and down the TPT. Again, because we live in Hilly Yorkshire, we're like a wind tunnel on the TPT, but not going to grumble at that, are we? Then Friday morning, my Achilles were a little bit tight from the session on Thursday evening. So I just went out and did 10k Friday morning instead, and left it at that for the week for Friday. Half in anticipation that we were going to Hull Park run on Saturday morning, and I wanted a bit of a blast at it because that would have been my third session of the week, which quicker than marathon pace, 5k pace, tempo, blast really, but wanted a PB at Hull Park run. Always like hitting a PB in a marathon block as a stepping stone on the way to the bigger stuff, making the shorter stuff faster so the longer stuff feels easier. PB previously at Hull Park on 15:48, done in July. So yeah, it might have been July or June. Felt quite comfortable. Set off and split 5:01 for the first mile. You can check it out on my Strava if you want. But yeah, I ended up running 15:40 for an 8-second PB. So yeah, not marginal at all. Quite a chunky 8 seconds off, around 3 seconds a mile-ish. Yeah, and felt really good. The second lap at Hull, it's cancelled for the next 3 weeks, was very busy, but it is what it is. It's park run. And then afterwards did 7 mile to make it 12 mile for Saturday morning. But then put my Achilles back into bits, just a little bit tight. I'm booked in for a massage tomorrow, Monday evening. So yeah, that'll ease that up. It's just tightness from all the mileage recently. Usually gets like this towards like beginning of marathon blocks because I'm building up the distances and stuff. So yeah, I'm not used to. So yeah, we got out this morning, 20 mile on the flat stuff. Felt okay, felt comfortable. Got the job done. 107.2 mile for a week. Chester Marathon's gone well for a few people today. So yeah, Gary's run 2:31, Jack run 2:49, Dave Hanks ran around 2:54, I believe. Might have been quicker, he'll probably correct me. And then seeing Jonathan Walton from Leeds, who ran 2:33 for fastest vet 55 in country ever, which is really cool, isn't it? 55-year-old as well. He bet the vet 50 category. I think he would have finished second in the vet 45 category as well, which is very cool. So yeah, well done. But yeah, enjoyed it this week. Training 8 weeks out. I've got Yorkshire Marathon in 2 weeks. Going to do a mini weeks taper for Yorkshire. So I'll train as normal for this week and then just do a 7-day taper going into Yorkshire. I'll be shortening my long run down next week though to probably about 16, 18 miles, something like that. Or it might be a bit shorter. Depends on the volume that I get done for the week. Yeah, just to have a bit of a go at it, but there's no pressure at Yorkshire. It's just a case of getting round and seeing what time I do. Valencia Marathon is my A goal. Going all in obviously for Valencia and want as quick as I can get. PB's 2:24.35. So yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wanted quicker. If I didn't say I wanted quicker than that. 'Cause why else would we do it? It is for enjoyment as well sometimes. But yeah, see how we get on at Yorkshire Marathon in 2 weeks. Not really got many races penciled in for Valencia to use as a benchmark, but Yorkshire's a pretty beefy benchmark. And then using park runs as well. So like Hull this morning was yesterday morning, was a very good leveler to see where I'm at this moment in time in training and making the shorter stuff quicker so the faster stuff comes easier. And I did the 6-stage relays a couple of weeks ago in Blackpool and felt really strong there as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how I get on as I step up the distance from the 5k to the marathon, which is bonkers to say, innit? First ever event were a marathon as well. So yeah, thank you for watching this week. If you do like what we do on the channel, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button because it helps the channel out. And yeah, we'll catch you next week as we talk all things out. 7 weeks out from Valencia, a week out from Yorkshire, and we'll see how we get on with next week's bit of training. I do plan, so I coach clients as well. I've got some coaching clients that I look after. I do stuff a week in advance. Naomi likes to plan longer blocks, but I always work weekly just because I'm more flexible. I've always got stuff in mind, but I always take it week by week because things can change, injuries can come up, illness can set in. and I've done it long enough now to understand my own flexibility to put it on others. So yeah, there's no real benchmark. I do like to do a lot of the same things, and look after my body, and just the same, do the basics but do them right, and that's my philosophy when it comes to running. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. Well done as well. A couple of coaching clients I've done races recently. Big shout out to Neil Mower, who's done, he did Berlin Marathon last weekend and PB'd, ran 3:15:40 something, I believe. And then Kieran Lightfoot, who's done a race up in Newcastle, Jarrow 10k today. And then Kat McFadden as well. She's done Home Firth 10k, I believe, today. I need to check in with her as well and see how she's got on. And then there's a couple of others that are stepping up the distances and hitting their own personal bests and goals. So yeah, well done to you lot. So yeah, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Drop us a comment, and we'll see you next week. Bye.